Ladies and gentlemen, this should look familiar. Yes? Now, if I would have shown this to you on the very first day of school, I said, this is what we're going to be learning, and you'd be like, what happened, Ms. Gresso? I don't understand any of it. But now, when you look at this, you know a journal, you know transactions have been put in there, you know that your accounting equation is in balance, and you have debits and credits. Okay, those are all things that you have learned so far in class. Now, what we did yesterday is we took information from our journal, and we went through and put it on our ledger. And when we put it on our ledger, thanks, Caleb, we make sure that our debits and credits don't equal when we put it on our ledger. What we do is we make sure that we get the current balance of our account. So we know what we have in supplies. So we can make decisions on what we have and what we may need to purchase. So yesterday we started on our journal, we started at the top, and we went through and did only the general columns. And when we post only the general columns, that's called posting individually. Okay, that's important for us to know because you're going to read directions, and the directions are going to tell you to post individually. Like, what does that mean? Start at the top of your journal and work your way down. The other thing that you are going to find is when we start doing some assignments is it's going to go through and tell you to journalize some transactions, and it's going to tell you to post. And it's going to tell you to journalize transactions, and it's going to tell you to post. Right now, we're learning about posting, so we have a journal that's already done and complete. But it's always very important that you read directions, and it tells you what to do. What we have on section 4-3 for today is we're going to take a look at, we've posted individually. Now, at the end of the month, we have to post totals. Now, when we post totals, we are specifically looking at our special columns. Because in our journal, we have general columns and we have special columns. And the special columns are columns that have an account title on them. So how many special columns do we have? Technically 3, right? Because you have a cash debit and a cash credit. Hang on one second, I gotta get the door. So technically we have 3, sales credit, cash debit, cash credit. They're affecting 2 accounts, but here's the thing. Let's think about this. We posted individually these columns right here, general debit and general credit, because we're going through and even though we affected accounts receivable Danielle Brasted twice, one was a debit and one was a credit, it would not make sense for us to have a journal that had a column for every account, would it? Your journal would be ginormously huge. Think about big corporations that have lots and lots and lots of accounts. So we have special columns for accounts that we're going to be using a lot. Now, what is important for a business? To know the sales we had on February 3rd or the amount of sales that we had in February? What is better information for a business? February, would you agree? So I could compare February 2014 to February 2015. Is that a good thing a business should look at? My sales. That is powerful information. There are going to be other outside factors that are going to come into play, like what's happening in the economy. In the state of Wisconsin, we have the weather. Taking a look at different things will impact sales of different products. But you need to be able to know what your amount is for that month. And the same thing when we take a look at posting our total for sales, we can see for the month of March, we had sales of $838. That's a powerful number that will help us to make decisions for a business, and that's the reason why we do all of our accounting transactions, so we can make decisions on what truly we need to do. So I'm going to go through, I post individually starting at the top, working my way down, and then once I've posted individually, I have to post totals, and when I post totals, I start at the left, and I work my way to the right. One of the things that I don't like about this example is right here under general debit, do you see how they have a V with parentheses around it? They have a V, or I would say a check mark, but there's no check mark key on a keyboard, so we use a V because it looks similar. We put a check mark under there because if we didn't put something there, it would look like we forgot it, right? Okay. So we put a check mark under general debit because am I going to put that number 2,326 in any account? Because what did I already do?
Listed all of the things that were in separate accounts.
Yes, I went and put those all individually because I'm not going to put that 2,326 in an account general as a debit. That doesn't make sense. I did it all individually. Same thing for my credit of 5,178. I already did all of those numbers individually. So I know that I don't have to do anything with that one, but I don't want to leave it blank because if I leave it blank, it looks like I forgot to do something. So therefore, we put check marks underneath it. We are going to go through right now and post that amount for sales, that 838 to sales as a debit or as a credit. What do we think? What do you think, Tyson? Say it again. I would agree, Tyson. Awesome. So, right here, go ahead and choose your general ledger drop-down list, and you're going to find your account title, September, or excuse me, not September, sales. I don't know where that came from. I'm making up words now. And we are going to go through and fill in my months, and the month is March. What is the date of this transaction that we're posting? How do we know that? Yes. Look at the date for totals. Totals are always going to be dated the last day of the month, even if it's a Sunday or a Saturday, but always it's the last day of the month. So we're going to have to use the date of the 31st. And we're going to go through and put in what our post reference, and what page is this from? 1. Okay. So we're going to take that 838 and we're going to put it as a credit. Before this, what was the balance of sales? 0. If I take 0 and I credit it 838, my due balance is 838 as a credit. Now, I need to take my account number 410 and put it back up here. But now, this is important. If I put the number 410 there, what does it look like? $410, would you agree? So we have to put the account number in parentheses. Okay, we put the account number in parentheses so people realize, hey, this is not an amount for a transaction that's off. Parentheses means, hey, this is posting. So below that 838 in parentheses, I'm going to type in 410 to mean I posted this number to account number 410. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go to cash. Now, I am posting my ledger left to right. It is really important that I do sales first, then I do cash debit, and then I do cash credit. What happens if I did cash credit first? What would the balance of my account be? A credit. Should we have a credit cash balance? No, because cash is an asset. Assets have to have a debit balance. I forgot to give you a T-account quiz. You'll get one in a little bit. So you need to make sure that you post your debit first, so you don't have a credit balance for your cash account. So we're going to go through and post that debit of $5,775, just like we posted sales. Month is March. Date is the 31st. Post reference is 1, and I'm going to do a debit of $5,775. Previously I had a 0 balance. Then I put account number 110. Kind of did that fast. But are you staying with me? Carson, you got it? So what are we going to do next, Carson? The next line, which is cash credit. So I'm going to do 2 transactions in a row right in cash. Now, do not take $2,085 and put it as a balance in cash. Okay, it has a debit balance right now of $5,775, and I'm going to subtract $2,085, so it's going to give me a balance of $3,690. Did somebody double check my math? Agreed? Okay. That's posting totals. How was that? Makes sense after what we did yesterday? The most important thing, though, is you have to post individually before you can post totals. So we always start at the top of our journal, work our way down, and then we start at the left and work our way right. Try your on your own. Oh, check your answers. Hopefully you all got perfects. 3 wrong.